Hello everybody and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay, the special Magia record edition. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm Hot for Justice.
I'm Yin&Jung.
And I'm Chibi Noob.
And we're back now. We decided to do this like a little bit different from last time. Last time we were talking about Magia record, we were also talking about whatever other shows we were doing at the time. But, you know, we kind of wanted to separate it this time because, one, scheduling recordings and stuff is a little easier sometimes as opposed to putting everything together, but also, you know, if you're just looking for us to talk about Magia record and not, you know, maybe Unlimited Blade Works, or maybe you do want to hear us talk about Unlimited Blade Works, there's a separate video for that came out also today, so when you're done with this, go see that, or go see that, and then come watch this. Just watch both of them. Just, you know you want to. You know you want to hang out with us for a little while longer. It's just, you know, yeah, it's good. It's a good time. It's a good time. Have yourself a good time. Anyway, while you're having a good time, be sure to like and subscribe and comment about all the things that we're going to clearly get wrong, because I have no idea what's going on. I have some idea what's going on. We have some idea. But, yeah.
A little bit.
So, it's the first episode of the new season. This came out. First off, I'm an idiot, so when did this actually come out? What was the time?
This came out today at like 11 a.m.
And we say today as in Saturday when we're recording this. Not the Sunday that this is coming out, because we would do in the future. I don't know. So it's at 11 East Coast time, and then figure that out for whatever other part of the country you're in. So yeah, that's moving forward. Also, Envy's not with us today. He is with his family. He had to do some stuff, but he wanted me to mention. He said he did like this episode. He enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But we need to say that it's listed for 8 episodes on the official website.
So here's how the breakdown works, because in Japan they were having episode recaps for the past couple of weeks. So they did 3 episodes per recap in this time slot. So the last couple of episodes, these last 8, are what's actually going to be the season or the core. So we're getting a shortened core. We're only getting 8 episodes because they decided to pad the first third of their season with recap of the last season. Yes.
Huh.
I'm sorry. Fuck that. Fuck that. I don't like any of that.
I mean, if you wanted, like, an abridged version of the story before you jumped right in.
I don't. If you're going to do that, do one episode.
I guess it would be a good way to do it.
No, I disagree with that entirely. You just ate up your budget for your new season by just recapping your... You know what you could have done and saved yourself some time and money? You could have just replayed the old season. There's such a thing called reruns.
I mean, there are. It's just, do we really know, like, what the available time slots are for any of these?
We don't, but they do. They're the ones working TV.
I'm not sure how often they really do reruns. That's the problem.
No country can put out so much stuff that there's never time for a rerun of something. There's no way. I'm
thinking maybe... Go ahead.
I mean, I don't know. It's just they have a lot of stuff that they put out. Like, if you look at the anime live charts, like, for each season, like, as they're airing, there's a lot of shit that's coming out.
Great.
And they don't have as many channels as we do over here in the States.
Okay, I get that. I'm sure there's some sort of logistical reasons for all of this, but at the same time, it's like, you seriously wasted a third of your season, or a quarter, I don't know.
A
third of your season on recaps of your first season.
Well, maybe it was the other way around, though. Like, maybe no matter what, it would have been 8 episodes. And so
I think it might depend on whatever arc they're covering of the game.
Okay, I really want to ask, because you might know this a little better than me, because you watched them. Were these episodes new animation or clip shows?
I'm not even sure.
Because if it was new animation, fuck that shit.
I'm guessing it was clip shows, but I don't know.
It better have been. Because I'm like, if you wasted your budget doing that as opposed to just making more stuff.
But maybe they didn't have enough story to make more stuff, is what I'm saying.
Probably.
But wasn't it described that there was going to be this core and then a second core coming out in winter? They clearly have enough story for that.
But what if it's not finished?
You know what? This is all a lot of speculation. They might just be
padding it to give themselves more time.
Padding rubs me the wrong way, man.
I know, but like maybe they had.
We've had this Naruto discussion multiple times beyond the episodes we were actually on mic.
But hey, at least like they're not making shit up in order to pad it. Like at least they're just doing recap stuff.
Well, how would I wouldn't know. I haven't played the game. I mean, again, Chibs, you played the game. I don't know how much padding there is, or whether we can get into that at some point.
I haven't really played that much of it.
Never mind.
The thing is like, I can't even download the game anymore. Like, I got rid of it on my phone, and I can't even get it back because they turned off all the servers.
Yeah, so this is literally all we're ever going to get anymore, so...
Why'd they turn off the servers?
Wasn't doing well enough over here.
Because, yeah, it just wasn't, I guess, doing well. Like, the microtransactions are really, like, what gets that game going, because it's, like, you know, a gacha sort of game for all the character cards. So, yeah, it just, it wasn't quite as popular as it is over in Japan. So, I think they just kind of are like, let's pull the plug on it. So
yeah, cut your losses, go where the money is. I get that. So we should actually talk about this episode.
Yes.
So this is what everybody else was doing while the season 1 was happening, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because what this has nothing to do with. Well, it has something to do with it. But this is we see Homura, Madoka, and Sayaka fighting a witch without Mammy because Mammy's off in Kamehameha City, and she's gone full witch mode. This is apparently Sayaka came back after also going like beast mode.
So this is actually after the end of season 1.
Yeah,
because Sayaka comes back. Well, you said it was like the events of whatever was going on.
I know, it just kind of feels like that, because we didn't see Madoka or Homura at all in season 1, and now it's kind of like, okay, here's where they are. So they are a thing, which I think that was one of my theories for a while. Were they dead or alive at that point? Was kind of like, I was questioning that. Of like, is this a timeline that continues beyond that, or like, what is it? Because like, we know the whole loop thing. It's never really determined whether, you know, multiverse theory and all that sort of thing. But, like, I don't know whether it's determined, like, when Homura goes back, does she leave the timeline that she left? Or does it still keep running? And that was kind of my question. But this does tell us that we're clearly in the month that Homura is looping. So, yeah, and this... I actually do remember this fight from the Homura flashback episodes. It was, like, what, episode 10 or 11 or something? That, and this was like, so Sayaka has never liked Homura in any timeline, it looks like.
Nope.
I'm about they just don't mix. Yeah, Homura is still very much in her, I don't know what I'm doing yet, pigtails phase. And I don't even know that she's using bombs yet. Well, I feel like she used bombs first and then upgraded to guns. So she's clearly changed up her style a little bit. And they're also involving ribbons, which kind of brings up a question of, can magical girls learn other magical girls' powers? Like, they're using Mammy's ribbons a little bit. Not a lot. But, like, just enough that I'm like, okay, how did you pick that up? Because I've never seen that before. So already we're doing certain things where I'm like, we're kind of taking a deeper dive into some of the lore of the world, and that's interesting to me. Outside of this is mostly just the Homura flashback episode where she's fighting stuff, with the one difference of something's going on in Kaminami City, and yeah, Homura gets a vision of what's her face's sister, Iroha. Okay, I keep remembering Iroh. I'm like, you are not that guy, but I will remember that name. So Iroha's sister, who she's been looking for the whole time, who we're pretty sure is part of the whole Wings of the Magius or whatever.
Yeah.
She's appearing to at least Homura, maybe to other magical girls as well, saying, come to Kamataka City to be saved if you're a magical girl. We can save you. It's very cult-like.
Yes.
And yeah, so I have the feeling that Madoka and crew are going to be making their way to Takakami City I'm just like, what is the name of it? I keep saying it wrong every time. Kamihama City.
There you go.
Kamehameha. I like Kamehameha City better. Kamihama City. I feel like everyone's going to go on a road trip, and we're going to get the season kind of really started next episode. Yeah, and it's mostly like a moment of solidarity between all of them, because they're all kind of like, it's that moment of, oh, magical girls turn into witches. Fuck. But Mammy's not there to shoot anyone, so we're cool. We're not cool, but I guess we're cool. Kyoko has a short cameo. She was there in the first season, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, told you.
I forgot, and then I was like, no, wait, you're right. She was there among like the recruits for the Illuminati. I feel like we're gonna have so many different cult names for the Wings of the Magius by the end of this. So yeah, it's definitely feeling like I do like that like Madoka's kind of like, you know what, even if life sucks and we're magical girls, blah blah nihilism, at least we're all together, which, you know, is cool. Also, the animation was fucking fantastic in this one.
Yeah.
Yes. It was so nice.
Some fight scenes.
Like, you can, I mean, I guess that's what, like, 10 years will do, is, like, let's just get better and better with this. Like, I think there's actually a meme about it, like, of what the quality of Madoka was, like, TV version, DVD version, Blu-ray version, and every time, like, the fence at the top of the school got fancier or something. Like, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a common thing with any sort of anime that has, like, a TV release, and then a DVD release, and then a Blu-ray release.
True.
You will literally see the differences in the animation once they've actually touched it up, for sale.
But what I'm wondering is, what can they touch up here for Blu-ray release? Because this feels like, wow, you're not going to get better than this. Mm-hmm. Like, I loved, especially right at the end, when Sayaka, like, goes after the witch. Beautiful. All the different, like, colors, the lighting and everything, the movements, it was super kinetic and just, it really sucked you in. I love that. That was great. That was the highlight of the episode for me.
I don't really think they would fix up that particularly. I feel like they would fix up some of the backgrounds in some of the other scenes.
I don't know. I feel like everything looked pretty good overall. I mean, I think it's well-trod territory for them to begin with.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know that there was, like, anything that I really would have changed animation-wise.
I don't know. Maybe just make the backgrounds look a little more realistic. Might be what they do with it.
But it's Madoka. It's an anime.
Yeah, it's Madoka. and it's Shaft. It's not ufotable. We're not looking for unlimited Blade Works backgrounds and city works, which was fantastic, by the way. If you want to hear all our thoughts on that, go check out our other Anime Yay or Nay episode that came out today. So yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else about this. What were your guys' overall thoughts? I feel like I've been talking for most of this. Do we need to do popcorn?
I feel like this episode definitely made me want to see how they'll intersect with the other magical girls. So I think more than like what was specifically happening in this one, it makes me like excited for the next one or wonder what will happen. I was wondering while I was watching this, okay, this has to be before the movie, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
The movie, well,
so this
Rebellion.
series happens in
Rebellion?
between Rebellion and the show.
Yeah, this happens right. I think if we want to talk like full chronology of all the events, beginning of episode, which one is it, 10 or 11? I think it's 10. Beginning
10.
of episode 10, when Homura first wakes up before she's a magical girl. Then we go through some of that, and then this series fits right in the middle of that episode, and then the rest of episode 10 happens, and then episode 1 through 12 happens chronologically, then Rebellion.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's been a while since we watched the other Magia record, so I just wanted to get that straight again.
Time loops, man. It happens.
Yeah, it's just questionable, but...
When's the last time you were stuck on a time loop, and how bad was it?
Just yesterday.
Just yesterday? God damn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what were you saying?
Yeah, I mean, either way, I was mostly interested in that, and, you know, it was good seeing these characters again. Animation, once again, was great. I liked the episode. I enjoyed it. Even though it did retread some of the stuff that we've already seen, in a sense. I think it did it in an interesting way, in a way that does make me keep wondering. So I liked it overall.
Yeah, I thought it was definitely interesting. Like, to be honest, when we watched, like, the first season of Magia Record, and it was, like, all the new characters, and they kept introducing more and more characters, and I was like, who the hell is this?
The flavor of the week kind of thing?
Yeah, it had kind of, like, lost me at points because it was a bit confusing, but, like, I feel like this episode was pretty, like, clear what they were going for, so it was more interesting to watch, and it kept my attention better.
I feel that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and also, it's just always nice to, like, go back and see our, like, original Magical Girls, our, you know, Madoka cast. And it was really pretty. Like, I loved the fight scenes. I remember watching them and thinking, oh my god, like, this is fantastic.
I don't want to say, I don't think Sayaka or Madoka ever looked as powerful as they did in this episode the original series.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
for sure.
Say what you want, God mode Madoka at the end, but, like, normal magical girl shit, I don't think they've ever looked this powerful. Maybe even in the movie they didn't.
Yeah. I definitely thought Sayaka, like, kicked ass.
Oh, yeah.
In this one. Yeah.
Maybe it was just because of the animation. Maybe they were just as powerful, they just weren't able to show it as well.
Yeah. That could be it. I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
Then. Okay. I wasn't really sure what to expect with this first episode because I got so used to, like, the new cast of characters and everything going on with them. So I actually did rewatch the last episode prior to watching the new one, just so I could refresh my memory on what note we ended on, which I will say, that's a cult ending right there, if I've ever seen one.
Mm-hmm.
So...
It's a little dismal, but...
Yeah. So we come back to this one, and I got super excited, because my girls are there, and I was very happy. But I really enjoyed getting to see, like, one of the timelines. Like, this is, like, obviously just, like, one of the timelines that we're getting to focus on, because it's got, obviously, the Kamihama City storyline, like, involved in it. But yeah, I was really happy to get to see them, to get to see, like, at least a good portion of that, you know, fight scene, and, you know, get to see some of the character interactions. Fight scenes were great, animation was good, music was good. Yeah, I don't really have any complaints, to be really honest. Yeah, I was just happy to be back with my girls.
That's nice, yeah. I think, and this is more of just a prediction for the rest of the season, I feel like even though this was, like, a decent episode to come back into, I feel like just because it is a bit of a retread for not only, like, this series, but the previous series as a whole, like, I think that when we get to stuff that's actually going to be presenting newer things, this is going to kind of look like probably one of the less impactful episodes of the series.
Well, yeah.
But that's just kind of, it is a bit of an establishing thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, because like really all this did for me overall was establish, okay, Homura and Madoka are still alive. And they are kicking. But that ultimately does mean that nothing matters because we know that Homer is going to reset this timeline.
That's fair.
So ultimately, you don't have to watch the rest of the series because none of it's going to have happened anyway. Unless multiverse theory is a thing, in which case, I think they established that it's a thing. In which, like, I'm interested to see if by the end of the series, when Homura snaps and resets everything, is this timeline going to continue to exist, or is it going to revert along with her? Like, that's always kind of the question that I've had a little bit. Like, also, how many loops is she in? I have a bit of a thought on it, because when she transformed, she kind of, like, did that thing where she, like, overlapped and fell into herself, like, 5 times. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if that's denoting this is her 5th time around. Because I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember.
So, the thing with that is like, I think it's probably been more times than that, because she's lost count at this point.
She's lost what?
She's lost count. Like, she can't remember how many times she's gone back.
Did she say that in this?
Yeah, she says it.
Oh, I must have missed that. 'Cause, like,
it was when she was walking to that copse of trees.
Oh, I love that part.
Yeah, okay. She was like, I've done this, like, so many times. I can't even remember how many times I've done this whole thing trying to save her.
Because I'm trying to remember. I feel like I read somewhere it was, like, some sort of, like, data kind of just like a trivia about the show sort of thing, that she had looped somewhere around, like, 14 to 16 times before she got it right and got out of the loop. So it's like she was really only a year older by the end of it. But, like, yeah, she's only going a month at a time. I feel like it'd be kind of easy to keep track of that, unless you are going, like, 40 times. Which,
yeah,
you know, if we're going by that, because, like, again, we see montage in episode 10, so it's not clear how many times you've gone around. Here, she clearly, if you're saying, I believe you, she said, I don't know how many times I've gone around. She could have done this 100 times, and she might be 50. But yeah, we have no real way of knowing, because I don't even know if, like, what I read was, like, meant to be canon or anything. So, but it is interesting that. Honestly, I'm wondering, because if this timeline continues after the reset, all the timelines continue. Which, granted, doesn't really matter for a lot of them, because the Earth's basically destroyed, but...
Yeah. I mean, in every timeline, the Earth's basically destroyed.
More or less, but I think... I don't know. I find it interesting. What would happen if the Magical Girls of Kamihama City dealt with Walpurgis Nacht instead?
Ooh.
I mean, if they were to come over here and deal with Walpurgis Nacht, maybe they could take it down, but I don't know.
I'm kind of wondering if Walpurgis Nacht would even show up in the normal spot, because something that was established in the last season was that witches are being attracted to Kamihama City. Like, they're being drawn in. And something that could attract so many witches, I feel like would catch the eye of the biggest witch of all.
Yeah.
So,
maybe.
Yeah. It's almost kind of an interesting question. Like, it's... I'm really wondering what it was about this timeline that did this, because we never hear mention of it in the original series, so this clearly only happened once. This might have been a once-in-a-quadrillion possible multiverse situation thing, where there was a chance to save Madoka without fighting Walpurgis Nacht. And I'm wondering if the combined power of all the Magical Girls could have killed Walpurgis Nacht. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's how they're going to try it, and it fails, and that's why why Homura has to reset again.
That could be.
And they were just like, oh, that's the most interesting timeline that I was on, other than the timeline where I got out of the time loop. But we're not going to mention that in the... It doesn't really matter, because none of this existed when the original was going on. But it's just... I don't know. It's interesting to think about, because we can. It's the only theories I can go with right now, because we didn't see any of the new characters.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's everybody looking forward to in anticipation this season?
So I think for me, I kind of want to... I'm just more looking forward to seeing, like, the story of this timeline. Specifically because, like, obviously we've all seen the original.
Mm-hmm.
I
Many
would
times.
have just... Yes. I would have just really liked to see one of the other times, like, you know, that Homura went through the cycle. And just, like, how everything turned out. I mean, obviously, things go bad.
Right.
But I want to see how it goes. Like, what happens. Because I feel like it could lead to some interesting stuff. Although, that's kind of, neither here nor there, really. Because, again, we obviously know how it's going to go.
I feel like I showed you that one comic. What was it? Oh god, it was a comedy manga of like Homura and like all the time loops she went through, where it was just like kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would just like to see the interactions between like Madoka, Sayaka, and like Homura with like Iroha and all the others.
Yeah, I was feeling the same way. I kind of want to see how they all interact and what conflicts might come up. Or maybe they'll all bond in peace. I don't know, but I feel like there might be some interesting stuff that happens between them. I also am still interested in seeing the story that continues with the newer characters too, because I thought they had some interesting stuff. Even though we kind of know that, I guess, Homura might just reset everything, I'm kind of hoping that there might be some impact in the larger story that this story has. And I feel like there should be, you know, if they're showing it to us. I feel like maybe even these new characters will be relevant in some way moving forward, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Homura Tamura. That was it. It's a fun one. As well as fun as you can get with the nihilistic time travel looping, but I enjoyed it. I'm kind of hoping to see more, like, see what's going on with how are they dealing with this whole beast mode thing. What is preventing them from turning into witches, or at least allowing them to assume partial witch form and then revert back? Like, what did they do? What is the... I don't want to call it science, but what's the mechanism, and how did they find it? How did they achieve it? What can everybody transform into? What are the new powers and whatnot? How is all of this gonna unfold? You know, it clearly has something to do with Iroha's sister and whoever the other trinity of the cult is. I feel like we met them last time, but I'm blanking on a lot of names. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think that's what I'm looking forward to most, is just seeing, because like that is the biggest thing about this timeline, is that they kind of broke all the rules of magical girls in that city. And how did they do it, and how what are they going to do with it? That's what I'm down for.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, does anyone else have any other thoughts on this, or like any other questions, or...
Not at this moment.
Yeah.
They haven't really introduced anything really new.
True.
Like, in comparison to the last season. So, at this point, it's just kind of like, I kind of just want to see where the story goes from here on their side of things.
Yeah.
And to see, like, how they they're all probably going to come into contact with the Yachio. But then we also need to get Iroha back, because she got dragged into a hole at the end
right, that happened.
of the last season. And Sayaka saved Yachio. So...
Right, that's Blue Mammy, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So we still have to resolve all of that, because Mammy dragged Iroha down the hole.
Yeah, Mammy's not the Mammy we knew.
No, she's kind of lost it.
I'm hoping that's where the next episode starts. Because... I don't know, I can see this going a couple ways. We could either stick with the main crew as they slowly decide to go to Kamihama City, or we could just jump straight to Kamihama City and get into it, which I really want. Or I don't know.
I feel like... No, keep going.
I don't want to keep harping on the fact that they wasted part of their season on recap episodes, but... it does make me a little frightened that they might try to pad this out and, like, really draw out how long it's going to take for Madoka and crew to go to Kamihama City.
Like,
but
I honestly don't think it will take them that long. They might have an episode of them, like, being like, okay, so I saw this thing, I think we should go here. And Sayaka's like, oh, I was just there. Yeah, some weird shit's going on. And sort of, like, maybe just kind of, like, talk about it a little bit, and then they decide to go.
You know what?
And then it kind of picks up
I want that
from where
scene,
it left off.
I want that scene as a flashback to when they're already on the train going there. I want next episode to start that train going with, like, a sunset in the background. Everyone's sitting quietly because of, like, their anticipation of going to this crazy-ass city with a bunch of witches, super strong witches, and crazy-ass magical girls with unnatural powers. And they just have a flashback of, like, here's what you're going to be seeing. Get ready. And then we get there. And then theme song. Because we didn't get a theme song this time.
We did.
It was at the end.
Oh.
Yep.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought that was the
I
credits
thought
song.
it was the ending, yeah.
No, that's the opener.
All right.
Okay.
Well, yeah, then, yeah.
Weren't a lot of the scenes from last season?
They were. That was, like,
kinda
entirely,
odd.
like, the last episode of last season was the images we were seeing. So I'm assuming it's going to be a different, like, animation setup for whenever they actually use it as the opening. But I want on the train, flashback, tell them what they need, done in 2 to 3 minutes, theme song, getting out at the station, and getting into business. Maybe we have, like, little scene, like, parallel scenes of, like, the OG crew walking around town and the new crew doing their thing, and they're kind of, like, they're, like, walking down streets that are parallel to each other, but by the end they meet up. And then episode 3, let's get into it.
I don't think that's happening.
Well, I'm allowed to dream.
I think your expectations are too high.
They're very high right now.
You're forgetting the part where they all joined the cult.
I am forgetting the part where they all join the cult. But you know what? Just because you join a cult doesn't mean you can't walk around town and do things. They still gotta go fight witches.
But there are no witches anymore.
Aren't there, though?
Not really. They're rumors.
Whatever. Witch, rumor, nightmare, whatever you want to call it. The thing that they fight. I just call it a witch because it's just shorthand at this point.
Aren't they called? Yeah, wait, yeah, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, they were rumors last time, but, like, regardless of what it is, it's a goober. It's like the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse thing. It's always a key, it's always a virus, it's always an antivirus. You just call it a goober. It's all the same thing, it all does the same thing. Just call it a witch.
I don't know. The thing is like, if they run into the new crew, it's probably going to be them trying to get, or the OG crew to join the cult. That's probably what's going to happen.
Okay, then we have them. Then they're immediately going to fight. Cool.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Maybe they go after the same rumor, and they fight over it. Why not? I just want to start seeing characters I give a shit about interacting in a meaningful way. And I got that a little bit today, and I want more.
Understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying we don't really know what else is going to happen.
Yeah. No, we don't. Game isn't available. But...
Nope.
But, I don't know. You're probably right, and I'm probably being too hopeful. But I think that, you know, if Madoka has taught us anything, it's that you can still hope even in moments of despair. Maybe. I don't know. That sounded decent, right? I don't know.
I mean, it did sound decent, but despair is kind of always there.
Okay, this is not Danganronpa. We don't have to focus solely on the despair
I was
thing.
just about to say despair coincides with hope. You can't have one without the other.
Okay. I think that's about all I got.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add either.
Yeah. We'll have to, next week, whenever we do season 2, episode 2, we'll have to ask Envy what he was most interested probably in this episode, but like, and then we'll cover, yeah, we're gonna be like, every time this is coming out, new things. So, you know, next week, episode 2, and I think we're also watching My Hero Academia, so check that out too. I caught up on quite a bit.
Yeah.
Me and Yin caught up on quite a bit, so we're gonna...
I had seen most of it already.
Yeah, that's true, but you also read a lot of manga.
Binge.
I was finishing Pokemon, and I had to grind like 30 levels, so it was like, you know, I'm gonna put you on in the background at least. So, yeah. So yeah, come back for those, come back for this. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoy this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!